Hey guys, Wave 3 News meteorologist Brian Good here for this latest edition of Snow Talk on this Tuesday. A quiet day outside. In fact, very, very nice indeed around Kentuckiana. Our severe risk today, it's mainly going to be limited to the eastern seaboard and the southern Rockies. We're nice and quiet here with that cool air at play. Even tomorrow, quiet here. Storms trying to develop in the plain states, but even as we into Thursday, there's still not much of a severe risk at all across the plains as the system takes shape, but we'll keep an eye on it as it gets closer and closer to us toward the weekend, but at least the next several days look really good. 70 right now. In fact, the number's about to update here shortly, but 70 degrees as of this very second. But 60s off to the north, and very likely you guys in Indiana will not get out of the 60s the way it's looking for this afternoon. Here in Louisville, we'll approach about 73, 74. Nice to see these dew points back in the 40s. You get into the 40-degree dew point range. It's going to feel really good outside, and it does. Yesterday we had dew points in the 60s, even a 70-degree dew point in Bedford, Indiana. Right now yours is 51, so what an improvement. On the satellite, we've got some high-thin cirrus clouds showing up here to our south, streaming in across our southern counties, and we've got a few these fair weather cumulus developing here, mainly alto cumulus, in fact, across central Indiana. It's just so cold aloft that when you heat things up, you get that any moisture that's around will bubble up into a little bit of a cloud, but again, not rain-producing clouds. All right, weather view shows how our storm system that produced the thunderstorms yesterday well off to our east. This is the low pressure now that is winding up that gusty wind. Got a wind gust now 24 miles per hour. It's a little breezy outside, but as this low moves away from us tonight and tomorrow, even the winds will begin to relax. Here's your short term here in your futurecast. Look at that, 45, at least on the model later tonight. We'll take a look and decide our numbers a little bit later on, but 4 days look to be widespread tonight. No worries about frost. Mom, I know you're watching. Wednesday, temperatures very similar to today, maybe a couple degrees warmer in some spots, but another beautiful day for your Wednesday. Thursday is when we start to see things change. We get back into the mid to upper 70s, clouds increase in the afternoon. Rain chance I think will hold off though until Friday. In fact, I'm going to focus mainly on the Canadian here because I think it has a better idea of picking out some of the features that are really hard to pick out in this setup for the weekend. I mean, there's not really a strong trigger anywhere other than the warm front and then the cold front. And they're about 3 days apart, 3 and 4 days apart, really, as we head into this pattern for the weekend here with a little impulse, 1 or 2 impulses riding along our area in between the two fronts. And that's why it's going to be really hard to time out the coverage of rain and the timing in general. But I think the Canadian has at least a better idea graphically how to illustrate that. First off, on Friday, it's not picking out a lot when it comes to rainfall. Again, a few spotty showers around. You see the warm front surges northbound Friday afternoon. We should be around 80 to 82, it looks like, in the afternoon hours. Then as we went into Friday night and early Saturday, thunderstorms develop. This is one of those little impulses that will ride through the Ohio Valley. It could kick up some thunderstorms as we went into Friday night, early Saturday morning, some heavy rain, lightning, and thunder. But by the afternoon, it really just fades it out. It doesn't have much support by the afternoon. So it's really hard to time the rain chance out. Saturday, it may start off pretty high in our western counties early in the day, and then for those of you east of 65, the rain chance will diminish by the time it reaches you. But overall, it is looking to be a higher rain chance compared to Friday, but still don't think it's going to be a washout. But we'll keep an eye on that impulse for Saturday and get a better handle on that timing. Sunday, the GFS is kind of sloppy with its moisture field Sunday. Kind of gives us scattering of thunderstorms, but I really think it's going to be more like this, where it's going to be very isolated, very warm day. I think the temperatures in the models are way too cool. I think we'll be well into the 80s with the setup here on Sunday. And then Monday, we get the cold front that'll move through, that'll finally give us a renewed chance for more widespread showers and storms. Could some of those be strong? Maybe, but too early to talk about that. Just know that at least they're on the maps. And once that comes through Monday, once again, we're going to see ourselves going from a warm pattern here for the weekend back to what we're dealing with right now. Some 60s and 70s with 40s and 50s at night. About a week from today, moving back in to our area. Could that be the last one of the season? Based on the long-term Euro that came out last night, yes. This will be the last one for the season. But for those of you already trying to plan ahead and try to pick out how things are looking for Memorial Day weekend, I will say that there is a chance for some storms for the weekend. There is a storm system that's going to be moving through at some point between Friday and Memorial Day next weekend. Just don't know on timing on that, but right now it does look warm, but there will be a storm chance. We'll leave it on the back burner for now. All right, guys, that's it for today. A short block today because it's quiet, so let's enjoy the quiet, and hopefully you're outside enjoying the weather this afternoon. Much more on the numbers, specific numbers for highs and lows coming up today beginning at 5.